Welcome to the Writer Reads Short Stories. This is What Happens on Axis 58, the fifth and final part. And he did. Unfortunately, so did I. The Arak had hit the original Axis 58 colonists hard, with a queen ship coming through the jump point and its vanguard touching down. The colony leadership had done the only thing it could. They'd sent Larry to take out everything that could stop the colony ships from launching, and then got their people away. Footage rolled through my head, old recordings, farewells that tore my heart, followed by the desperate quiet of men and women doing their best to make sure nothing threatened their loved ones ever again. The colonists made it out, but their leadership downed the Queen's ship, turned their homes into a weapon, and ensured everything burned. Larry had been downed in the same burst of energy that had pulled the Queen's ship out of orbit. He hadn't seen the destruction. The 4 Arak aboard him had come from a scouting party sent more recently to sow the seeds of the new colony's destruction. The new colony, whose children he had helped me keep from the Arak advance party, who, as the new record showed, needed a ship to stand overwatch until an orbital was built. And even then, thank you, riffled through my head, but I wasn't sure if it was him or Mack or Tens speaking, except Tens was still locked out. I can fix that for you. He could? Apparently, and it was all Tens needed to port Mack right in beside me and 1 medevac team in tow. That is a lot of blood, Cutter. Is it all yours? Ha ha, funny man. Is it red? Well, yeah. Well, it's not his then. And I didn't bother pointing at the Arak on top of me. Couldn't if I'd tried. Damn it, Cutter, is that a fang? No, stupid, it's Rigel's tower in a spider's mouth. What the hell do you think? Mac hit me with an emergency Nan pack and a shot of antivenin, and Larry stopped me from passing out completely. Stay awake a little longer. That was easier once Rowan arrived to tweak the bits that needed to be kept operational. A lot easier when Mac rolled the Arak off me and Doc's team went to work. I'll leave you now, Larry told me, and I wanted to tell him to stay. Except that would have been pathetic. You can run through my head any time, I managed. Really? No, I have enough folk in here already, which, given Mac, Tens and Rowan were all in attendance, was true. Larry's laughter followed me into the dark, but it was a sound that kept me warm until I woke, dressed in my underwear, in my own bunk. And of course I wasn't alone. Mac was sitting by the bed, as usual. I stared across at him, glad he'd pulled me out from under the spider. Very glad he ported me back in time to get stuffed into yet another regen tank, and then pulled back out again. But mostly I wanted to cry. All those people. And as usual, he was in my head. It was a very long time ago, Cutter. You weren't there. Then why do I feel like I should have been? You were linked to that ship too darn long. Or not long enough. You got him free, and you gave him a reason not to go Nova on us, and you got these people a guardian the Arak will hesitate to tangle with. But at what cost? I could still see the colony leadership burning. The security footage had run a long time after they'd ended, and Larry had wanted to see it all. They were desperate times, and they got their people away. But the cost, the one they chose to pay. I swallowed hard. Larry's grief, my sorrow, almost overwhelming. Mac clapped me on the shoulder, speaking out loud once more. Come on, the kids are waiting. They were? Yep. Larry's been keeping them out of your head and well away from mine. Something about long-range emergent psi and stress bonding. Ship takes his duties seriously. Clothes? Armor's in your wardrobe. I'll wait in the hall. Just turn around, Mac. And I sounded tired, even to myself. Whatever, he said, mocking me with my own word, but turning all the same. He stayed, though, which was a relief. I could still see shadows, movement in the corners of the room from things that weren't there. I could do without being alone right now, and if he caught any of that, he didn't say a thing. You done yet? He asked, 10 seconds in, and I gave him the finger as I zipped up the front of my fatigues. Man should know better than to rush a girl when she was getting dressed. That made him snicker, but I needed both hands to fasten my weapons belt and couldn't flip him again. It was coming, though. Man kept pushing. It was coming. We stepped out into the hall and headed to conference room 9. I hadn't expected us to be leaving orbit. We figured a long-distance goodbye was best, Tens told me from inside the implant. Some folks down there want to put you in a body bag. Me? It was their own kids who'd gone aboard Larry in the first place. I just saved their hides. And that's how the kids tell it too, which is why you're getting this conference call. Kids demanded it. They wanted to say, well, you can hear it for yourself. Tina and Piet were standing front and center of the gathering. Their faces lit up when they saw me. The faces of the two adults bookending the small group looked like they'd sucked on something sour. Tina glanced toward the head of school, and the girl's smile turned downright mean. It softened as she turned back to me. Larry says you're the reason we're still alive, she started, and I shrugged, opened my mouth, and got steamrolled as she continued. You are. I've seen the footage. There were 4 of them. We'd have been toast if they'd gotten past you before we pulled down that teleport block. And even then, she pressed her lips close together and took a deep breath. Anyway, we wanted to say thanks, even if the grown-ups think you need hanging or shooting or something for us sneaking ourselves into danger. They say you're the only one responsible. Whatever, right? You've given us all a fighting chance. That last was delivered with a solid look of defiance directed at the colony's security chief. To my surprise, the kids around Tina not only mirrored her look, but turned, each half of the group directing their rebellion toward a specific adult. Tina's closing words confirmed it. Come back in 10 years' time, she told me. Things will have changed. And part of me trembled at what I heard hidden in those words. Change, huh? I didn't know what to say, and must have been quiet a little too long because Mack nudged me in the ribs. I glanced up at him and then back at the kids, my students, whom I'd had to abandon right at the end. You were kind of bleeding out, Tens muttered, and you'd been bit. Like I needed reminding, but the kids needed a response. I look forward to it, I managed, since they were thanking me, and a mere "you're welcome" didn't quite cut it. At least they looked pleased with the answer. See, that wasn't so hard, was it? Mac asked, and that was it. I remembered him telling me it would be easy looking after these kids, and no weapons were needed, no body armor either. Easy. And I saw red. This time the hit I landed rocked him back on his heels, and I didn't care. I turned and stalked toward the door. Behind me I heard shocked murmurs coming from the comms screen. She hit the captain. Yeah, Tina got it. And he doesn't look happy. Wait, Tina got it? We'd been broadcasting? Well, ums. I headed for the gym and the obligatory 3 rounds on the mats. It looked like I'd be having those words with Mac after all. What the hell ever? I needed a good fight anyway. Without one, I might just start crying again.